leemos, hablamos, escribimos y comprendemos el español, pero como queremos que este video llegue a una audiencia mayor, lo vamos a hacer en inglés. We all speak, write, read, and comprehend Spanish, but we want to have a bigger audience, so we decided to make this video in English.
So, in your opinion, what benefits come along with being in a Spanish class with native speakers as well as non-native speakers?
I think that there are a lot of positives to having this mixed class. It has been really helpful to be in a Spanish class with native speakers since they have a better understanding and general comprehension of the language and are able to help us a lot when we need it. Because there are a lot of things that we need to learn kind of outside of the classroom and away from a textbook. And it also allows us to gain a better understanding of the language than we would otherwise receive strictly learning how to conjugate verbs in a book. We get to have more of a well-rounded and kind of more of a colloquial understanding of the language.
Yeah, kind of going off like with what Camille said, it's helpful to like learn the colloquial and like less formal aspects of the language. So like we kind of get a better understanding of the language and like of the culture and stuff because not everything translates exactly from English to Spanish. And it's also helpful like if the teacher is not available, you know, the native speakers can always help us.
Yeah, the native speakers definitely help us more with the cultural aspects as well as just the language, and because of that we get a more well-rounded knowledge of the language, and at times it's also easier to learn from our fellow students than the teacher because they can teach us things that the teacher can't just because of the cultural aspects and the colloquialism. And by having a diverse class, we're exposed to different perspectives and levels of the language, and it just makes us have more knowledge of the language.
And we also have it explained to us in a different way. So there's times when a native speaker can explain it in a different way that might make a little bit more sense to a student who's just learning Spanish. So that helps.
Great. And so describe your experience as a native speaker in a mixed class, and in what ways has this been beneficial or challenging to you, Sophia?
It's definitely different being in a class with people who speak Spanish and people who are learning it, but I think it's beneficial for both. I personally think that as a native speaker, it's beneficial to me because I am constantly exercising my knowledge of Spanish because I am challenged to answer questions, and it's just a good way to reflect on what I know.
Excellent. And so we can conclude that overall both native and non-native students benefit from the environment of a mixed class, and each are challenged and learn in varying ways through various methods. Given this, in what ways would you change this experience for future classes, or would you change it at all?
So there would only be slight differences that I would make to the class. I would try to integrate it more in a way just because I've noticed that the native speakers and non-native speakers tend to clump up a little bit. So all the native speakers will sit together and all the non-native speakers will sit together. So only really the kids sitting on the boundary, I don't want to say boundary because it's a mixed classroom, but sitting in that area get the actual help from the students. I think it would be better to have more collaboration, so to have more group projects where native and non-native speakers work together, or to just even implement a seating chart where the students, like it switches off by row, so you're still sitting at least across from someone who speaks Spanish and vice versa. I feel like that would help a little bit more because there are some students who are still afraid to ask help from non-native speakers or from native speakers, and a lot of students can be self-conscious. So I feel like more of an integrated classroom environment could be beneficial. Overall though, the spirit of community has been very helpful and has been really great in helping us to learn the language.
Yeah, I also think like we could have more collaborative projects because like Camille was saying, there is like a huge gap between the different levels of like understanding. So I think if the non-native speakers and native speakers had more projects where we could all work together, there would be that same level of understanding.
I also think it would be beneficial to have a field trip somewhere where we could actually be in a real-life situation in which we could use our knowledge that we've already gained and also learn more from our the
Great. So thank you all for your time and participation, and I hope that this video will help you gain an understanding about the structure of an IB Spanish class here at Sequoia High School. Have a good day.